We've now walked through some examples of the forEach helper, but you might be thinking to yourself, Stephen, why would we ever have any practical use of this? And that's a great question, something that I intend to answer for you at every different topic in ES6 that we're going to cover. So let's talk about a very practical use case of the forEach helper. We're not going to walk through any code in this section. Instead, I just want to kind of give you an idea of when you should reach into your toolbox of array methods and look at the forEach helper. So the forEach helper is kind of the Swiss Army knife of array helpers. Believe it or not, just about every other helper that we're going to cover could be re-implemented using the forEach helper. Nonetheless, there's still a couple areas where you might want to use forEach. So let's take a look at a diagram here of an application that I'm sure many of you use on a day-to-day basis, an email client. In this case, I'm just kind of arbitrarily saying that it's Gmail. Let's imagine for a second that we are sitting inside of our Gmail account and we're looking at our spam folder. And in our spam folder, we've got a couple of different error messages in here. Perhaps once I select some number of email messages, like say this one, and then click delete all selected, I need to send some type of request, like an HTTP request to some server and request that a certain email be deleted. So I would likely have to pass along maybe like the ID of the email or some kind of like identifying token about the email. So basically, hey server, please delete this email, and here's the one I want to delete. I want to delete lose weight fast, fantastic scam, just click here, and your computer has a virus, please fix it now. This would be a fantastic use case of the forEach helper. Let's assume that clicking this checkbox here adds the email to some like emails array, like emails to be deleted or something like that. Then whenever a user clicks on the button, we could run emails.forEach, so every email that's in this array, we should iterate over it and call this function delete email, passing in the email. I would use the forEach helper here over using a for loop because for a forEach loop and a for loop, we would have the exact same end effect, but with a forEach helper, we have dramatically less code. So just for a second, imagine in your head that we implemented this using a for loop. We would have to go through the var I is less than emails.length, I++, all that kind of just boilerplate code that's not really gaining us anything. So instead, I would reach to using the forEach helper for a task like this. In short, whenever you want to call some method multiple times, passing in a different argument each time, consider using the forEach helper. All right, so with a practical use case of forEach in mind, let's put this to use and work on some exercises in the next section.